Bonjour, Émilie Talpin, OM System Ambassador. Welcome back to the channel. I am beyond excited because today we're talking about the M.Zuiko 90mm Macro Pro. So let's get started. So, for disclosure, I'm an OM System Ambassador, but OM System has not asked me to do this video. They're not telling me what to say. What's in this video are my own thoughts, and I want to share my experience shooting with the 90mm macro for a few weeks now. And big thank you to OM System for sending me the lens ahead of time. I'm having a blast. I don't want to send it back. So, my friends, our OM System, if you're watching, please let me keep this lens until I get my new 90mm macro. Yes, I actually ordered already my 90mm macro. So I thought for this video, I'm gonna show you some sample images and I'm gonna tell you about my experience with the 90mm macro. And as you know, my experience might be different than your experience. My needs are gonna be different than your needs. So take everything with a grain of salt, This is just my thoughts, my experience, and I'm really excited to share it with you. I've been following the kind of birth of this lens for a while. I remember seeing on social media the patterns and thought, 90mm macro, that's pretty neat. And I should, that's really, I should say that is, can you have two favorite lenses? Yes, I think you can. The 60mm is just extraordinary. I love this lens, and I mean, it's super small. But I have to admit that the limiter, I've always wanted to just have a manual clutch. So that was one thing on the 60mm macro that I was longing to have a little bit. And also, most of the time I'm shooting 1:1 and I'm shooting in manual. And then if I want to focus and I have my camera focus for me, then it's gonna take me out of the 1:1. And that was bothering me a little bit, and I felt like in some situations I really needed more reach. I needed more magnification. That's why when they announced that new lens and they announced up to 4x magnification, I was kind of already sold, to be honest with you. And some people are gonna say, yeah, but what about the quality? This is a pro lens. This is a OM System lens. I have zero worried about the quality, the sharpness of this lens. And if you are interested, a few YouTubers who have the lens already came up with some data that you can go and look at. It's fantastic. I think all the critics that I've seen on this lens are more than positive, and for a good reason. And so my first thought when I opened the box was, wow, that is big. That's way bigger than what I had anticipated. But then really for the magnification you're getting, it is not that big, and compared to all the other lenses for that focal length and for actually less magnification, they're even bigger. And then when I hold it, yeah, it's not that heavy at all. So that's important to me. I don't want a lens that's heavy, and I feel like the other macro lens that I've seen from other brands are on the heavy side. So I got past the length of the lens pretty fast. And the second thing that I like, first of all, I like that they include the lens hood. I don't use it very often, but it will be useful for portrait or even for wildlife, and I'll talk about this in a minute. What sold me on the lens was really the magnification. So here you have the limiter switch, If you want to get the 1:2 ratio, just put on S macro, super macro, and it really is a Superman S, because that magnification is really insane. And you know what? If you need more than a 1:2 ratio, you can actually adapt your teleconverter on it. So I have the 1.4 teleconverter and the 2-time teleconverter, and they fit on this lens, which is, it's really great. I had the Renox. I want to actually sell it. I'm not going to use it anymore. I don't need it anymore, and I've never really liked it. It's just a bit cumbersome to put on and to carry around. My teleconverter, they're always around in my bag when I do wildlife, so that's perfect. I have my macro lens, I have the teleconverter that I can use for macro photography, but also for wildlife. I just love that. To me, that's really a game changer to be able to adapt teleconverter on your macro lens. And I've obviously, when I got the lens, I just wanted to try it. What is going on with a 2-time teleconverter? And I find a teeny tiny spider. Actually, a friend of mine found a teeny tiny spider that was mummified and gave it to me. And I couldn't see it with my eyes. I thought, it's probably gonna be completely, destroyed. It's not gonna work. And not at all. I actually put the 1.4 teleconverter, and this is what I got. And then I thought, let's try with the 2x converter, and this is what I got. It's really insane. Look at the details that you are getting with the 2-time teleconverter and the 90mm macro. It really is mind-blowing, and I think they picked the right hashtag, see the unseen. That is what this lens is about, is enabling you to discover a world that was not accessible before. This lens has been with me every single day. I've shot with it every single day. I'm absolutely, completely obsessed. I've been dreaming about this lens and shooting macro at night. It's really made a really, really strong impact on me and on my photography, and pushing the envelope. And I feel like really OM System just hit it out of the ballpark. That magnification is insane, and what is completely insane, it's not just a manual lens, because a lot of lenses that you'll find on the market are, you have to manually focus. Here, you actually can let the camera do the work for you. And it's gonna autofocus. And even when you're doing the 1:2 ratio, so when you have the highest magnification, it works really well. Same with the teleconverter. I've been really, 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 really impressed. And I'm still getting used to it, because in my mind, as a macro photographer, I'm always in manual. And here I can rely on my camera to focus for me, and it's very accurate. So one thing that I love is the manual clutch. I've been using it a lot, even if I'm getting more and more used to having the camera focus for me. But I love that it's very smooth. I mean, this lens is so well built. It feels very secure in your lens. I think that size is really great. The 60mm macro way smaller, and I don't know, I just feel like this is exactly the right fit for my hand. And the clutch is very intuitive. It's very, very smooth. And here, when you engage the manual clutch, it actually gives you a distance scale and also your macro life-size reproduction scale. So this is neat. You can exactly see where you are at when you're shooting in manual mode. Now, also on your lens, it's a pro lens, you have the instabilization. So I always have it on, even on a tripod. Just I leave it on because there could be some small vibration, so that will take care of it. And then you have the LFN function here. I haven't decided what I will be using this for yet. I'm still trying to figure out what would work best for me. So if you have any ideas, put it in the comments below and I will try them out. Also, because it's a pro lens, it is IP53 weather sealed, so you can take it out in the element with zero problems. We had an insane winter event a few days ago in New Hampshire. It was so cold. We had record temperatures, minus 37, as if, you know, that's how it was feeling. It was horrible, but it was great for frozen bubble. So I took that lens with the OM1 and I went outside and I did frozen bubbles, and that's the result. And it was so much fun capturing those bubbles as they were freezing. And the 90mm macro did an excellent job, zero problem. After 45 minutes, I was so cold, I had to go in, but really my macro lens and my OM1 had zero problems. Now I put the 90mm macro on my OM1. That is really my go-to kit now for macro photography. And what I love is that this lens makes for a great portrait lens as well. So I'm going to try to do a little bit more portrait, because you know, you have this lens, you can use it for macro, but you can also use it for portrait, and you can also actually use it for wildlife. I was out with the beavers, and at one point I wanted to take a video of one of the beaver going up the dam, and I decided to try the 90mm macro, and it did a really awesome job with it. So here you can see it's following the beavers, it's very sharp, and this is gonna be a great addition to my wildlife kit. And instead of carrying maybe my 40 to 150, maybe I'll just carry my macro, and then I'll be able to do macro, but I'll also be able to have a lens where my 150 and 400, I'm busy taking photos and I need to take videos, I can set that up as a video, and I think it will work very well. So I'm pretty excited that this lens will have different function for me. It's not just a macro lens, which is important to me, to find different functions and find different ways to use my lenses. So the big question, is this lens for you? I can't answer that question. I can tell you that this lens is definitely for me, because I want more reach. I love the 60mm macro. It will still have a place in my bag because of its size, and it's so sharp. But I mean, this is a super sharp. That's a pro lens. That's a super sharp lens as well. So I feel like if you have a budget problem and if the magnification is not a problem for you, yeah, go for the 60mm macro. But if you're looking for more reach, then yes, the 90 is a no-brainer. I mean, I honestly think that this lens is gonna win all the award this year in 2023, because it's exceptional. There are no other lenses that are on the market that can get you that reach and have autofocus. So brilliant lens. It actually might be one of those lenses that's gonna put the Micro Four Third, on top of the market. Petapixel actually published an excellent article. I'm gonna put the link right below the video, telling you that if you are one of those people who are like denying Micro Four Third, too bad for you, because you're missing out, because the shots that macro photographers are getting with the 90mm macro and the 60mm macro are some of the best shots that the industry is seeing. Those are not my words, though I believe in those words and I totally agree with them. But that's coming from Petapixel. So take a look at this article, and if you are one of those person who is thinking, well, should I make the jump to macro four third? Am I gonna lose in quality? Well, you got your answer. You're gonna gain in all those fields, and you can't find that anywhere else but with OM system. Now, this is kind of the Ferrari of the macro world, but you have options. As I said, you have the 60mm macro, and you have this little guy, the 30mm macro, great for water drop. So that's also another option. So the question is, what do you want to do? And you can also go and try the lens. You don't have to buy the lens straight away. Go and try it out. I love to try lenses. I go to my local camera shop and I'll try it out there. I know that this lens is actually gonna go around the US and also around the world in different big camera stores, so you can test it out over there and see for yourself. But honestly, I've been so impressed with this lens, and yes, it's become an obsession. A good obsession. Now, before I end this video, I want to show you a couple of images that I took with the 90mm macro, and I also want to invite you to look at the work of other OM system ambassadors who are just killing it with their macro. I mean, you have Chris McGuinness, who is basically the face of the lens. He went to Costa Rica, love the video that they made while he was out there. I'm gonna put it right below so you can go and check it if you haven't yet. And yeah, check their Instagram. I'm gonna put all the Instagram. There is Lisa Kuchara, there is My Forest Floor. There are so many of them who are posting stunning photos. So I'm gonna put all the links below so you can go and take a look at their Instagram. And again, I want to thank you for all your support. If you are not a subscriber, it's never too late. Hit the subscribe button, click on the bell so you know when my videos are coming out. And that really helps my channel. I really appreciate it. If you want to share this channel with friends, please do so. If you have any questions, any comment on the 90mm macro, put it below in the comments. I'll be answering them throughout the week. And thank you again. I will see you next week. But until then, take a look at some of the photos and videos I took with the 90mm macro. Bye guys!